Afternoon, Congressman Tim Ryan, who just walked into the Union Hall here in Lordstown. Your first gut reaction, so to speak, to the news you must have heard, as everyone else did.
Yeah, brutal. You know, our hearts go out to all the families who work here. You know, we're all getting text messages. It's people who built this community, and they're going to take the brunt of this. And I'm really upset with General Motors. I can't even begin to say, going back to when we did the auto rescue package, Sherrod Brown, myself, we took all kinds of political heat, stuck our necks out. People were saying let Detroit go bankrupt, and we said no, we can't do that. And now you turn around, and the very company that got bailed out by the American taxpayer is now screwing Americans all over the country. Now it's not just Lordstown, it's up in Detroit, it's in Canada. You know, the insensitivity too. When the second shift was on their last day, they announced a new car in Mexico. Now a couple days after Thanksgiving, they give everybody the pink slip. I mean, what are they thinking about? They're not thinking about the workers. They just got a huge corporate tax cut that was supposed to build new factories and employ workers. And you know, I'm really pissed off about the whole thing because these guys have a blatant disregard for workers in the country, and it's been going on for 30 years now.
Do you get a sense, as you just mentioned, the announcement of Mexico building the new SUV on the day workers here were told they were going to be laid off? Do you sense a certain tone deafness by the folks at GM Corporate?
Yeah, completely. I mean, again, they got a bailout from the American taxpayer, then they screw Americans a few years later. They get a huge tax cut. Their profits are through the roof. They're extremely profitable. $2.3 billion in this quarter alone. Looks close to $10 billion over the course of the year in profits. Like, so do the workers not mean anything? And it sounds like, yeah, it's not just the job loss, it's the salt in the wound of right after Thanksgiving. I mean, you literally, like, you couldn't have waited till January to do this. I mean, it's a blatant disregard for workers. And, you know, I feel so bad for these families.
Last question we'll ask you here. Moving forward, you guys were here just 1 week ago announcing the Drive at Home campaign. So much has already been done, as you said, that GM saying, tell us how you want us to help. Where do we go now?
We're not sure. I mean, part of the reason I wanted to be here is to, you know, be with the men and women who work here, but also figure out, okay, how do we move forward from here? We're going to have a big empty plant in a great region with great workers. You know, where do we go from here? Is it GM? I don't know. Is it, you know, try to find somebody else to come in here with maybe a newer technology for a new kind of car? I mean, you know, we're going to explore every options, and you know, everybody needs to know we're not going to give up. We're going to continue the campaign as long as we think it's viable. We're going to continue to look for other options here. You know, these workers supported all of us, and we're going to continue to support them. You know, but again, it stings today, given what General Motors has done and how they did it, and you know, and quite frankly, the president hasn't lifted a finger. We've been trying to get President Trump's attention on this for 2 years now. Sherrod Brown's called him. We sent letters. We told him don't get rid of the fuel efficiency standards because that's going to put the small car market in the tank. 2 weeks later, they laid off the second shift here. Now the whole plant's gone, and all these small cars around the country are gone. You know, he's got to put his damn Twitter down and roll up his sleeves and get to places like this and start doing the real work that we need the President of the United States to be doing.
Congressman Tim Ryan, thank you very much for joining us. Live in Lordstown, Jerry Ricciuti, WKBN 27.